SDG is big and has got a lot of strength. Our strength depends on each ministries. Every ministry has got a direct strength to handle SDG, and so the same as every media team, you have got the strength to handle SDG in a way that we promote our country and what we are doing. So today is purposely for us to know and to understand what the Office of the Prime Minister is doing and what we are doing on the ground, so that at the end of the day, the country will be well informed. So therefore, I want to thank you so much. Are you coming?
We have an SDG conference, which is upcoming, and it is next week. It is next week, June 22nd to 23rd, which is next week, Thursday and Friday. This is a second national SDG conference. Ruth will share maybe a summary with us afterwards. It's the second SDG conference, the first one being last year. We held it last year in June. And this time, we also started off with regional festivals, SDG festivals, and SDG forums in 4 regions of Uganda, including Western Uganda, we had it in Mbarara, Eastern Uganda, we had it in Jinja, Central Uganda, we had it in Mubende, and Northern Uganda, we had it in Lira. And in all these 4 regions, we had engagements with local communities and local leadership. And the objective of those festivals and forums were, one, to mobilize the local communities in regards to taking action on SDGs, but also taking action and participating in government programs and projects. So we are doing this, or we did that, as the build-up to create more much awareness and to have more engagement on SDGs, on issues of SDGs. And when we talk about SDGs, we are talking about everything we do, everything that concerns our life, everything that concerns our environment and climate, and everything that concerns our development. So there are 17 goals, and the goal number 1 is talking about poverty, eradicating poverty. Eradicating poverty, you know what that means. So that's why you see government, of course, doing a number of programs that are geared towards alleviating poverty. And currently, we are talking about the parish development model, and of course, all the other players, the NGOs, the UN agencies, the private sector, all of these players are in this market, if we can call it market. They are in this market to ensure that the livelihood of Ugandans is improved by improving their incomes and therefore eradicating poverty. So goal number 1 is about that. Goal sustainable cities and communities. We are talking about urban development. How are we developing our cities and towns, town councils, municipalities? Are they really being developed in a good shape? You know, so it's about that. Goal number 12 is about sustainable consumption and production. Its concern mainly is while we are making an effort as a developing economy to grow, we should do it in a sustainable way. For instance, the products we produce, are they long-lasting? The products we import in the country, are they long-lasting? So that SDG is actually linked to environment and climate change. So you hear us usually talk about the kinds of things we import to the country. How long-lasting are they? If you are importing phones or clothing from wherever they are coming from, does this phone, is it able to have a lifespan of at least 2 years? If not, if the lifespan of most of the phones we have on the market is 6 months, and we are making a lot of imports of these phones, where do they eventually end? In the environment, you know? So that's the other concern. Goal number 13 is about climate action. Goal number 14 is about life underwater, rivers, lakes, and so on. Goal number 15 is life on land, deforestation, cutting of trees, and so on. And it is strongly linked to SDG number 7, which is about clean energy. Because when the energy is not affordable, when electricity is not affordable, when people don't have the capacity to have solar, people don't have the capacity to, to use gas, to buy gas, it means they will definitely end up cutting trees. So there is a big correlation between goal 15 and goal 7. Goal 16 is about peace, justice, and strong institutions, which is about the justice system, issues of peace, issues of safety, issues of corruption. All of them, they are under goal number 16. Then goal number 17 is about partnerships, and this is largely everybody is in charge of partnerships. How we are working together with government partners as government, with the private sector as government, but also with our Ugandans who are living in the diaspora. So you'll find indicators of how much does Uganda, the government of Uganda, receive from our brothers and sisters who actually live in the diaspora. So that kind of income, how much of the loans do we get as a country, are they sustainable? So all those issues are on goal number 17. So those are the issues that next week during the SDG conference we shall be discussing about, like I've explained. So we shall be asking ourselves questions and be in a position to look for answers during that conference. How are we progressing as a country in regards to all these 17 goals? And remember that everybody, like I have explained just in brief, you will see that you have a role to play in almost all these goals. It is wrong to think that these goals, it's an obligation for government alone. But usually we also ask ourselves, when they send you in Kampala, the good thing you are in Kampala. So they sent you in Kampala to go and look for someone called the government. Who do you bring? Sometimes we have seen in Parliament, an MP saying, government needs to do this, but he's a member of Parliament. That is Parliament. It is part of government. But what I'm trying to say is that all of us are part of this journey. All of us are responsible to ensure that these goals are achieved. Play your role. Someone might not be doing their job well, but for you, do your role.
Okay.
Do your part. Definitely. Okay. So that conference, it is a conference being organized by government of Uganda through the office of the Prime Minister in partnership with the NGOs under the leadership of the NGO Forum, the National NGO Forum, but also in partnership with the UN, all the United Nations agencies in Uganda under the leadership of the Resident Coordinator's Office. I think you know the Resident Coordinator. So this is a partnership of those three arms, and it is bringing on board all government agencies, ministers. All of them have been invited. Some of them will be speakers, permanent secretaries, and the commissioners and directors in all our government institutions. And I'm sure most of these people have been invited, but most of them are also still receiving invitations. And we also have invited the UN agencies, or the UN agencies, the UN family as you know it. They will also be in participation, in attendance. We also have the diplomat constituency, the embassies. We have invited a number of ambassadors to come and attend. Last year, some of them attended. This year, we expect much more numbers. We have invited civil society organizations, a number of them under the leadership of the NGO Forum, and they will be in attendance. We have invited the private sector constituency under the leadership of Private Sector Foundation Uganda. They will be participating in this conference. We have invited the academia. They will be participating in this conference. We even have the Vice Chancellor of Makerere, who will be one of the speakers during the conference. So, and we also have international speakers who will be attending the conference. One of them being Professor Geoffrey Sachs. I think some of you possibly know him, but Professor Geoffrey Sachs is the grandfather of the SDGs, and is actually the one who authors the global SDG reports, which usually rank the UN member states on how they are progressing on SDGs. So you will be also speaking during that conference. So it's a big conference. We expect the president to be the chief guest. We know he's the whatever, but we are fast tracking to see if he's in position too. But we shall also have, of course, the Prime Minister is the chief convener of this conference. We have all the ministers in the OPM to be attending. We have the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament who will be attending. I think some of you know last year she attended. This year she will attend. We have the Chief Justice who has already confirmed to attend the conference, and the Vice President who will be closing the conference or whatever happens, but that is how we have invited them in that capacity.
The issue of charcoal, the issue of 17 goals, the issue of what the challenge we are facing, we are all getting involved as a team. So now I don't want us to start isolating. The NRM has failed, FDC has failed, UPC has failed. No, we are working with as government as a team. So I want to make that very, very clear. Although now we are under the NRM government, but we are all stakeholders. So I will ask you, what are you able to do as a citizen? We are dealing with citizens. When there's an issue of charcoal, when there's an issue of environment problem, you don't leave it to NEMA. You handle it there and then. Supposing there's a garbage problem where you stay at home, are you going to call the government, or you are the one to talk to the neighbors to clean the environment? That's what we are supposed to do. We all need to get involved in this matter so that we make our environment clean. The country is working together as a team so that we make sure SDGs is promoted according to the goals which we have, the 17.